freedom,
family,
world unity.
All these things and more will be discussed on this podcast.
Real stories, real people, real debates. On this podcast, we like to express our freedoms and talk about anything and everything goes.
Like freedom, family is important to us, and anybody that is listening, watching, or coming on the show as a guest star are all considered part of the greatest family to ever bless the solar system, the human race. No matter who you are, where you come from, you will always have a voice here on this podcast.
We like to flex our First Amendment, where all speeches and opinions are accepted for the right of freedom of speech. We have a saying we like to live by. Live life with eyes wide open. Being open-minded leads to true understanding of the world as it really is. Please, come, join us, and enjoy this experience as we embark on this journey of truth as we dismantle the subjective truth. I'm your host, Nick.
And I'm your co-host, Victoria.
And you're experiencing high consciousness.
Disclaimer. Any and all information on topics presented are to the best of all who is present in each episode's knowledge. The goal of this podcast is to bring people together and set the example we all wish to see in our everyday lives. Whether it's home life, education, politics, history, business, etc. Any and all subjects can and will be talked and peacefully debated about on this podcast. On debate episodes, there will be a set rules of debate that hosts and guests alike must follow. We ask that you, the audience, like we ask of our guests, in the comments to please try to keep the language as clean as possible. We are a podcast for entertainment as well as educational purposes. Here we are all equal no matter what race, age, or gender. Thank you, and enjoy the show.
Oh, hi y'all.
And welcome back to another episode of
High Consciousness. I'm your host, Nick.
And I'm your co-host, Victoria.
And we are High Consciousness. Welcome back, y'all, to another episode of High Consciousness. And last week we read the Declaration of Independence by yours truly, Victoria. And before we started reading, I read the speech that the unknown patriot did before to sway our founding fathers to sign the Declaration of Independence, which we believe that could be Saint Germain.
Yes, the Count Saint Germain,
Count
which,
Saint Germain.
According to legends about the Count Saint Germain, it is kind of said that they apparently did, that the Count Saint Germain did end up meeting with our forefather, our founding father, Benjamin Franklin, and like as when we read back in The Secret Destiny of America, we went over the fact that Benjamin Franklin knew someone called, the only thing that they knew him by was the professor, because that's all that they gave him a name to call him by. But we also, when we got a little further down the road into the unknown patriot speech that swayed the signers of the Declaration of Independence to sign the Declaration of Independence, it doesn't say, that it was somebody that they recognized. So maybe, quite possibly, the professor may or may not have been the Count Saint Germain, or in my opinion, it might have been Professor Nicholas Flamel. Which that's the only thing that, with the name Professor, I would have thought. Because as far as I know, the Count Saint Germain never went by Professor at any point in his life. He was always known as the Count. But Nicholas Flamel was known as Professor Nicholas Flamel, who, just like the Count Saint Germain of legend, had also achieved the challenge of immortality. And by creating a successful Philosopher's Stone, just like the Count Saint Germain did.
Mm-hmm.
So there are two very big names and legends that apparently had swayed the whole beginnings of America, where we got some of our foundations of freedom, making sure that, our founding fathers did sign the correct, documents in order to bring America to what it is today, to make it the first land of freedom, where, the rest of the world doesn't have the kinds of freedoms that we do, and that's just fact.
Mm-hmm. So today, I'll be reading, and we shall be reading The Articles of Confederation and the Perpetual Union. It was passed in 1777 and then ratified in 1781. And this was during the Revolutionary War. This Constitution right here was something of a rough draft, something that was quick.
The Articles of Confederation was like the rough draft of the Constitution.
But it was something that had to come up with the fly because, like I said, it was during the Revolutionary War.
Yeah, and it was a year, this was created and passed a year after the Declaration of Independence had already been signed and declared.
Yeah.
There's that part.
So, with that being said, I'll go start with the Articles of Confederation was the first document that detailed the rights, responsibilities, and powers of the 13 newly independent American colonies. The Articles of Confederation proved not to be strong enough through and was ultimately replaced by the United States Constitution. Articles of Confederation and Perpetual Union between the states of New Hampshire, Massachusetts Bay, Rhode Island and Province, Plantations, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia.
North Carolina represent!
Now, Article 1. The style of this confederacy shall be the United States of America. Basically saying the title of this country shall be called the United States of America. Article 2. Each state retains its sovereignty, freedom, and independence in every power, jurisdiction, and right, which is not by this confederation expressly delegated to the United States in Congress assembled. Article 3. The said states hereby severally enter into a firm league of friendship. Severally,
maybe? Or severally?
That's.
Yeah, you might be right. Severally. Because isn't severely kind of like spelled the same way?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I was a little bit confused on how to say it.
Hereby, severely.
Enter into a firm league of friendship with each other for their common defense, the security of their liberties, and their mutual and general welfare, binding themselves to assist each other against all forces offered to or attacks made upon them, or any of them on account of religion, sovereignty, trade, or any other pretense whatever. Article 4. The better to secure and perpetual mutual friendship and intercourse among the people of the different states in this union, the free inhabitants of each of these states, paupers, vagabonds, and fugitives from justice accepted, shall be entitled to all privileges and immunities of free citizens in the several states, and the people of each state shall have free ingress and regress to and from any other state, and shall enjoy therein all the privileges of trade and commerce, subject to the same duties, impositions, and restrictions as the inhabitants thereof respectively, provided that such restrictions shall not extend so far as to prevent the removal of property imported into any state or to any other state of which the owner is an inhabitant, provided also that no imposition, duties, or restrictions shall be laid by any state on the property of the United States or either of them. If any person guilty of or charged with treason, felony, or other high misdemeanor in any state shall flee from justice and be found in any of the United States, he shall, upon demand of the governor or executive power of the state from which he fled, be delivered up and removed to the state having jurisdiction of his offense. Full faith and credit shall be given in each of these states to the records, acts, and judicial proceedings of the courts and magistrates of every other state. Do you have any questions on that article? 'Cause that was a lot.
That was a lot.
And each article is going to get longer.
Well, so far it seems pretty, simple to follow through. Basically establishing, we are not the colonies of England anymore. We are straight up the United States of America.
But I was asking,
I would like to know, how did they come up again, why did they stick with America? Why didn't they, make it something else? I mean, I understand that this was the North American continent, but, you have the whole European continent over there, but yet it's split into many different, regions and countries. And
that may be for Thursday's episode when we get into America, into our other book,
American Narrative History. Yeah, because we are slowly catching up in America and narrative history to the 1700s. We're getting there. So we're kind of catching up to our Constitution just a little bit. Which would be really interesting to see.
But did you get what Article 4 was talking about? Article 1, 2, and 3 are pretty...
Well, Article 1 seems that...
It just says...
not Article 1, Article 4 seems to be going over that there will be a co-workmanship and a friendship between government and the people, and that the people have the right to hold the government officials, liable and accountable for any offenses that they might have committed against the people, like trying to maybe implement some kind of laws that are just not okay, that is a reflection of the old world that the people are just not with anymore. Or at least that's kind of what I understood from that, but I mean, maybe I'm wrong. But that's what I understood, for the most part.
I mean, I think that's what I understood too. I just want to hear it from somebody else, honestly, because it says he can...
What is y'all's opinion on Articles 1 through 4? What do you think that they mean to you? Please leave your comments in the comment section down below. Let us know what you're thinking. Let us know what you guys think.
Because really the only thing that confused me is this section right here. Any person guilty of or charged with treason, felony, or other high misdemeanor in any state shall flee from justice and be found in any of the United States, he shall, upon demand of the governor or executive power of the state from which he fled, he deliver up and remove to the state having jurisdiction of his offense.
Well, it's giving the person that may have been charged with something the freedom to go ahead and flee, but you can run all you want, but you can't really hide, because eventually when you get caught, you'll be dragged back to that state in order to be charged for your crime within the jurisdiction of which you committed that crime. So this is where something in England that you didn't really have the freedom to do. So America kind of gives a little leeway to outlaws, a little bit, where it's you can run but you can't hide.
I guess that's kind
of what I got out of that.
Yeah. Okay.
You can run but you can't hide.
All right, now so we go on to Article 5. Article 5, for the more convenient management of the general interests of the United States delegates, shall be annually appointed in such manner as the legislature of each state shall direct to meet in Congress on the first Monday in November in every year, with a power reserved to each state to recall its delegates, or any of them, at any time within the year, and to send others in their stead for the remainder of the year. No state shall be represented in Congress by less than 2, nor by more than 7 members, and no person shall be capable of being delegate for more than 3 years in any term of 6 years, nor shall any person being a delegate be capable of holding any office under the United States for which he or another for his benefit receives any salary, fees, or accumulate of any kind. Accumulate.
No, emolument.
Emolument.
How did you get accumulate from emolument? E-M-O-U-L-E. I can't even spell it.
Monument?
E-M-O-L-U-M-E-N-T. How do you get the other word from that one?
I mean, it still means the same if you accumulate anything
an emolument is an accumulation. Yes, you are correct.
Okay,
but still,
people will still...
no, we have to read it correctly, Nicholas, Mr. I can't read.
I can't read 1,700 words. I mean, you should have heard me read the Bible earlier with all these these and these.
Hey, you did really good with that. I don't understand why you can't do good with this. That's why you have nothing to say.
Yeah. Bah humbug.
This ain't Christmas. It's Spooky Month.
Exactly. Bah humbug. She's scary, y'all.
Show me your girl face.
Okay. So anyway, we go...
I'm sorry. Now I'm done.
Okay. Are you done emolument of any kind?
I am done with my emolumentous tricks.
Okay. Of any kind, right?
Of any kind.
Alright, so each state shall maintain its own delegates in a meeting of the states, and while they act as members of the committee of the states in determining questions in the United States in Congress assembled, each state shall have one vote. Freedom of speech and debate in Congress shall not be impeached or questioned in any court or placed out of Congress, and the members of Congress shall be protected in their persons from arrest and imprisonment during the time of their going to and from in attendance on Congress, except for treason, felony, or breach of the peace. That's the end of Article 5. What do you think of Article 5?
Well, it's laying down that, for us to, I guess, choose our people in office, we each get one vote throughout the state, which I guess is the kind of establishment for the electoral vote, in a way. Maybe? Or maybe we're just too far ahead on that one.
Maybe a little bit too far ahead. You want to do a little rereading on that?
I mean, yeah, let me take a closer look at that. So, this is...
Article 5, right?
Article 5. Okay.
Article 5.
Okay, it is a little lengthy. Okay, so for the more convenient management of the general interest of the United States, delegates shall be annually appointed in such manner that as the legislature of each state shall direct to meet in Congress on the first Monday in November in every year with the power reserved to each state to recall its delegates or any one of them at any time of the year and to send others in their stead for the remainder of the year. Okay, so this is the... Okay. So, delegates shall be annually appointed to legislature of each state. And so, one person from each state to represent the whole state and all the peoples within it, which means is where the one vote in the Senate comes from.
Right.
Okay. So, yeah, this is the establishment almost of the what's it called? The electoral process, like one of the many electoral processes that there are.
Yes.
And this is for specifically our Congress members. No state shall be represented in Congress by less than 2, nor by more than 7 members, and no person shall be capable of being delegate for more than 3 years, in any term of 6. So that's the part that I don't really understand.
You only get 2 terms of 3.
They get 2 terms of 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I said after that 6th year they're done. You get to serve 1 year for 3, and then after that next election year, after the 6th year, you're done. That's what I got.
Okay. Nor shall any person being a delegate be capable of holding any office under the United States for which he or another for their benefit receives any salary, fees, or emolument of any kind. Each state shall maintain its own delegates in a meeting of states, and while they act as members of the committee of the states. Okay, so yeah, that's the establishment of our House committee members and our senators right there. Our Senate members. So okay. The freedom of speech and debate in Congress shall not be impeached or questioned in any court or placed out of Congress, and the members of Congress shall be protected in their persons from arrests and imprisonments during their time going to and from the attendance on Congress, except for treason, felony, or breach of peace. So that's the part that kind of got me a little... So they have freedom of speech, but if they're guilty of something, they shall be protected from arrests and imprisonments, except for if they committed treason, felony, or breach of the peace.
Which I guess the breach of the peace would be like you did domestic attack or something. Terrorist attack, I guess. Because remember, this during the times of war.
Well, yeah.
Alright, now we go to Article 6. Article 6. No state, without the consent of the United States in Congress, assembled, shall end any embassy to or receive any embassy from... Sorry.
Where's the D? Where's the D?
I got the day. I love you.
I love you too. What am I gonna do with you? What am I gonna do with you?
Help me read, I guess, because I can't read.
It's only because you have a speech impediment and you're slightly dyslexic. It's okay. We're all a little dyslexic. I mean, shoot, I can't tell the difference between left and right. I always gotta put my L's up.
You mean your left hand and your right hand?
Yeah. My L's. My lefts and my rights. Left is a L, right is a backwards L.
Yes. Together it makes a U. Anyway, that's what we said. Article 6. No state without the consent of the United States in Congress assembled shall send any embassy Embassy. Where do you see a C, though? I see an S.
That's how you say it, embassy.
Embassy?
Mm-hmm. It's a double S, so it makes a sound.
Oh, don't I feel like an imbecile?
Okay, that was good. That was actually really good.
Mm-hmm. Shall send any embassy to or receive any embassy from or into any conference, agreement, alliance, or treaty with any king, prince, or state. Nor shall any person holding any office or profit or trust under the United States, or any of them, except of any present emolument, office, or title of any kind whatever, from any king, prince, or foreign state. Nor shall the United States in Congress assembled, or any of them, grant any title of nobility. Nobility.
Ow, that kind of hurt.
Yeah.
That one hurt.
I felt it.
Ow.
See, by the end of the episode, her forehead was like Sokka when they walked through the Cave of Lovers. In the cartoon, you ain't seen it before.
I didn't even plan for that. That was perfect.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, or any of them grant any title of nobility. Did I say it right this time? Okay.
Yes.
No two or more states shall enter into any treaty, confederation, or alliance, whatever, between them, without the consent of the United States in Congress assembled, specifically, accurately, the purpose of which the same is to be entered into, and how long it shall continue. No state shall lay any impose or duties which may interfere with any stipulations in treaties entered into by the United States in Congress assembled, with any king, prince, or state, in pursuance of any treaties already proposed by Congress, to the courts of France and Spain. No vessel of war shall be kept up in time or space by any state except such number only as shall be deemed necessary by the United States in Congress assembled, for the defense of such state or its trade, nor shall any body of forces be kept up by any state in time of peace except such number only as, in the judgment of the United States in Congress assembled, shall be deemed requested to garrison the force necessary for the defense of such state. But every state shall keep up a well-regulated and disciplined militia, sufficiently armed and accounted, and shall provide and constantly have ready for use in public stores a due number of field pieces and tents, and a proper quantity of arms, ammunition, and camp equipage.
Well, that one right there is the establishment of the civilian militia and our right to bear arms. Yes. And to be able to buy those said arms in all public stores all across the country.
I say we should bring back Article 6.
Yeah.
Article 6 sounds like pretty well thought out on that part of all.
Well, yeah.
But anyway,
that's also to guard us against, the government should have ever go tyrannous.
But the thing about it is that we're still in Article 6. That was just a little bit, that we still got one last little section. No state shall engage in any war without the consent of the United States in Congress assembled, unless each state be actually invaded by enemies, or shall have received certain advance of a resolution being formed by some nations of Native Americans to invade such state, and the danger is so imminent as not to admit of a delay till the United States and Congress assembled can be consulted. Nor shall any state grant commissions to any ships or vessels of war, nor letters of marque or reprisal, except it be after a declaration of war by the United States and Congress assembled, and then only against the declared and under such regulations as shall be established by the United States and Congress assembled, unless such states be infested by pirates, in which case vessels of war may be fitted out for that occasion, and kept so long as the danger shall continue, or until the United States and Congress assemble shall determine otherwise. Remember, there are bad pirates too out there.
Yup, because again, it's written as his story. History is written as his story, meaning the story of the victors, which the victors at the time were, the English. And as we know from America narrative history, going right along with this, roundabout, it's like 100 and some years beforehand, but still the fact that pirates are still around even 100 years later than where we currently are at in American narrative history, we already know that England and Spain were the whole reason why pirates came to be in the first place. The British Army, tricked out, I guess, their generals and their armies in the Navy in order to be these, pirates to go and take out the Spaniards. And who's to say that, those bad pirates are also the ones that were actually the good pirates that were fighting against the evil English?
It's part of it too, but those was bad pirates too, though, babe.
There was good pirates and there was bad pirates. There was the pirates that were created, that were the rebels that didn't want to be under the oppressive thumb of the kingship anymore. And then there were the pirates that were created by the kingship in order for the kingship to keep its thumb on everybody.
I get that, but are we also forgetting about the pirates that go in and pillage people too? That's because of the whole free will of it against it all. I mean,
there's also those that just, they use their free will to be bad, but...
Yeah, that's what mainly what we're talking about here on this side. Because at this point in the game, I should say, in the war...
Well, we're almost talking about Blackbeard here. When we talk about pirates, one of the leaders of those pirates in this very time era is Blackbeard.
Blackbeard was dead at this point.
I thought Blackbeard died in 1783.
No.
Well, hold on.
Look at it. Look into it.
Let's take a little dip to the Matrix real quick. What year? Okay, come on. No. Oh, 1718. I had it backwards. I thought it was 1780 something. No, it was 1718 something. My bad. But it is a little easy to get that confused. 80, 18, 8. 8 was in the word. I was close.
Yes, but...
Kind of.
Kind of. But yes, no. Pirates was beforehand, but you gotta think... But at this point, there's those pirates that were probably paid by the British to mess up the trades with the inside the Americans. So, that being said...
Which, folks, while we're about to move on to the next one, and we got your attention for just a second... we are going to be doing a little special episode on the reason why we have a pirate flag.
Yep.
So, stick around and stay tuned for that episode after this one.
And I'll continue on with Article 7. Or did I finish Article 6?
You finished Article 6.
Did I finish Article 6?
I think so.
Because you said something about pirates and you cut me off.
I'm sorry. Okay, maybe you just start from the top. Yeah, we'll just start with the top.
No.
Article 6. Bottom of the page.
No state shall engage in any war. Nah, I don't want to start up there yet. This is a long sentence.
Yeah, it's all like just kind of one friggin' sentence.
Yep.
Okay, well, you marquee and reprisal except by after a declaration of war, not by letter.
which war has been so declared under such regulations, it shall be established by the United States in Congress assembled, unless each state be infested by pirates. In which case, vessels of war may be fitted out for that occasion and kept so long as the danger shall continue, or until the United States and Congress assembled shall determine otherwise. So, with that, I continue on with Article 7. When land forces are raised by any state for the common defense, all officers of or under the rank of colonel shall be appointed by the legislature of each state, respectively, by whom such forces shall be raised, or in such manner as such state shall direct, and all vacancies shall be filled up by the state which first made appointment. That's Article 7.
Do what?
Article 7. When land forces are raised by any state for the common defense, all officers of or under the rank of colonel shall be appointed by the legislature of each state respectively, by whom such forces shall be raised, or in such manner as such state shall direct, and all vacancies shall be filled up by the state which first made appointment.
So basically saying have all the proper documentation if you're going to raise up a small militia?
Yes, make sure he's...
Is that what I'm getting at?
Yep, make sure he's ranked up to a cardinal.
Well, anyone that is ranked to a colonel, you have to have all this paperwork and documentation of all you little soldiers, where you're at, for the state, and all of that.
It makes it all... It makes it's
on the up and up.
Yep. Alright, now, Article 8. All charges of war and all other expenses shall be...
Easy.
Incurred for any common defense or general welfare and allowed by the United States in Congress assembled, shall be defrayed out of a common treasury, which shall be supplied by the several states in proportion to the value of all land within each state granted or surveyed for any person, as such land and the buildings and improvements thereon shall be estimated, according to such mode as the United States in Congress assembled, shall from time to time direct and appoint the taxes for paying that proportion shall be laid and leveled by the authority and direction of the legislature of the several states within the time agreed upon by the United States in Congress assembled. Do you get that from Article 8?
Not gonna lie, I'm a little lost.
Okay, I'll say it again. Article 8. All charges of war and other expenses that shall be incurred for the common defense or general welfare and allowed by the United States in Congress assembled shall be defrayed out of a common treasury, which shall be supplied by the several states in proportion to the value of all land within each state, granted to or surveyed for any person as such land and the buildings and improvements thereon shall be estimated according to such mode as the United States in Congress assembled, shall from time to time direct and appoint the taxes for paying that proportion shall be laid and leveled by the authority and direction of the legislatures of the several states within the time agreed upon by the United States in Congress assembled.
Okay. Now that you reread it, I had to listen to it a second time to get the fact that, okay, maybe it's, maybe this is the establishment of the treasury for when we go to war. Or just to improve upon the land, period. But because we're in wartime right now, it's more so directed for wartime era, improvement in equipment and, all that other stuff.
Agreed. Now I move on to Article 9. This is a pretty lengthy one. The United States in Congress assembled shall have the sole and exclusive right and power of determining on peace and war, except in the case mentioned in the 6th article of sending and receiving ambassadors, entering into treaties and alliances, provided that no treaty of commerce shall be made whereby the legislative power of the respective states shall be retained from imposing such imposts and duties on foreigners. as their own people are subjected to, or from prohibiting the exportation or importation of any species of goods or commodities whatsoever, of establishing rules for deciding in all cases what captures on land or water shall be legal, and in what manner prizes taken by land or naval forces in the service of the United States shall be divided or appropriated, of granting letters of marque or reprisals in times of peace, appointing courts for the trial of piracies and felonies committed on the high seas, and establishing courts for receiving and determining final appeals in all cases of captures, provided that no member of Congress shall be appointed a judge of any of the said courts. The United States in Congress assembled shall also be the last resort on appeal in all disputes and differences now subsisting, or that hereafter may arise between two or more states concerning boundary, jurisdiction, or any other causes whatsoever, which authority shall always be exercised in the manner following: whenever legislative or executive authority or lawful agent of any state in controversy with another shall present a petition to Congress stating the matter in question and praying for a hearing, notice thereof shall be given by order of Congress to the legislative or executive authority of the other state in controversy, and a day assigned for the appearance of the parties by their lawful agents, who shall then be directed to appoint by joint consent commissioners or judges to constitute a court for hearing and determining the matter in question. But if they cannot agree, Congress shall name 3 persons out of each of the United States, and from the list of such persons each party shall alternately strike out 1. The petitioners beginning until the number shall be reduced to 13, and from that number not less than 7, nor than 9 names, as Congress shall direct, and shall in the presence of Congress be drawn out by lot. And the persons whose names shall be so drawn, or any 5 of them, shall be commissioners or judges to hear and finally determine the controversy, so always as a major part of the judges who shall hear the cause shall agree in determination, and if any party shall neglect to attend at the day appointed without showing reason, which Congress shall judge sufficient, or being present, shall refuse to strike, the Congress shall proceed to nominate 3 persons out of each state, and the Secretary of Congress shall strike in behalf of such party absent or refusing, and the judgment and sentence of the court to be appointed in the manner before prescribed shall be final and conclusive, and if any of the parties shall refuse to submit to the authority of such court, or to appear or defend their claim or cause, the court shall nevertheless proceed to pronounce sentence or judgment, which shall in like manner be final and decisive. The judgment...
Okay, is this... Good Lord, is this all one sentence?
Yes!
Because you're not even pausing, bro, like for a period of nothing.
No!
Like, this is all one sentence?
Yes! Yes!
Good Lord! Our forefathers wrote an entire fracking book in one sentence!
No,
it's a fracking book, dude.
Now you made me lost my place.
I'm sorry. I think you were down here. Like, good Lord.
That's what I was saying.
Defend, claim, cause, submit authority to such court. The Secretary of Congress. Okay, just start here. And the Secretary of Congress shall strike in behalf of such party absent or refusing.
And the judgment and sentence of the court to be appointed in the manner before prescribed shall be final and conclusive. If any of the parties shall refuse to submit to the authority of such court, or to appear or defend their claim or cause, the court shall nevertheless proceed to pronounce sentence or judgment, which shall in like manner be final and decisive. The judgment or sentence and other proceedings being in either case transmitted to Congress and lodged among the acts of Congress for the Secretary of the parties concerned, provided that every...
He had to take it a deep one there, folks. He was like...
That provided provided every commissioner, before he sits in judgment, shall take an oath to be administered by one of the judges of the Supreme or Superior Court of the state where the cause shall be tried, well and truly to hear and determine the manner in question according to the best of his judgment, without favor, affection, or hope, or hope of reward. Provided also that no state shall be deprived of territory for the benefit of the United States.
That was all just one little part of the article. Like, good night. Okay, so basically, long story, really long freaking one run-on sentence story later, it means this is the establishment, I believe, of the Supreme Court.
That goes to the very left. Yeah, we're going to talk in a little Bill Cosby voice. That one.
I don't know. It's just I don't know why it came out that way. It came out like this is the Supreme Court.
Came in a little Cosby there, bro. I ain't gonna lie. No, but here the point is that the Supreme Court is that everyone gets to have a vote and can only have one say in Congress. Okay, this is the last resort. And if you try to come up down and they can't resolve, they both have to come down to the Supreme Court.
Okay, old man Cosby, you're starting to ramble now. Okay, so the second part of this thing. The second part of this article.
All controversies concerning the private right of sole claimed under different grants or two or more states whose jurisdictions as they may respect such lands in the states which pass such grants are adjusted, the said grants or either of them being at the same time claimed to have oriented antecedent to such settlement of jurisdiction shall on the petition of either party to the Congress of the United States be finally determined as near as may be in the same manner as is before prescribed for deciding disputes respecting territorial jurisdictions between different states. Did you get that? Did you get all that? Ever.
Yeah, my brain's starting to hurt. Like I said on the last podcast, or like on the one with Rogue Records, like I'm almost a genius, but I mean, mind you, our forefathers were geniuses, so this is genius speak, and
I feel like I'm reading a little bit of them saying the same.
But it's such bad grammar, like. You call me the grammar Nancy all the time, so yeah, this is kind of like poking at my grammar irritation.
Yeah, go ahead and read it. Make sure I did not miss a single word.
Okay, so all controversies reserving the private right of soil.
I feel like I'm reading.
Oh, okay, so this is basically the establishment of granting the people their patch of land so long as it respects. You know, the territories and is within the boundaries of the states that they live in. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. So, like, basically they're trying to kind of, like, say, like, okay, there's North and South Carolina, right? You cannot own a farm that is sitting on...
North and South Carolina.
North and South Carolina. Like, half your farm can't be in South Carolina and the other half of your farm be in North Carolina. You can't do that.
No.
Which, that's interesting that they would put that in there.
Anyways, continuing on to Article 9.
Continuing on with the third part of Article 9.
The United States and Congress assembled shall also have the sole and exclusive right and power of regulating the alloy and value of coins struck by their own authority or by that of respective states, fixing the standard of weights and measures throughout the United States, regulating the trade and managing all affairs with the Native Americans not members of any of the states, provided that the legislative rights of any state within its own limits be not infringed or violated, establishing and regulating post offices from one state to another throughout all the United States and exacting such postage on the papers passing through the same as may be equivalent to defray the expenses of said office. Appointing all officers to the land of the land forces in the service of the United States, excepting regimental officers.
Where? Regimental.
Regimental officers, appointing all the officers of the naval forces and commissioning all officers whatever in the service of the The United States making rules for the government and regulations of the said land and naval forces and directing their operations.
Okay, so there's postage and papers and trade and managing affairs. Okay, so maybe this is the establishment of trade with the natives and creating post offices in order to do such and be able to get their messages back and forth from, the army to the White House, pretty much.
Maybe.
That's what I think that is, because otherwise, I don't think it means anything else other than that. This is just the establishment of our postal offices, so that way we can, our postal offices and trade, managing affairs with the natives. So this is like our internal, the creation of our internal affairs along with our post office in order to establish good communication.
I continue on with Article 9. The United States in Congress assembled shall have authority to appoint a committee to sit in the recess of Congress, to be denominated a committee of the states, and to consist of one delegate from each state, and to appoint such other committees and civil officers as may be necessary for managing the general affairs of the United States under their direction. To appoint one of their number to preside, providing that no person shall be allowed to serve in the office of President more than 1 year in any term of 3 years. To ascertain the necessary sums of money to be raised for the servants of the United States, and to appropriate and apply the same for defraying the public expenses. To borrow money or emit bills on the credit on the credit of the United States, transmitting every half year to respective states an account of the sums of money so borrowed or emitted, to build and equip a navy. To agree upon the number of land forces, and to make requisitions from each state for its quota in proportion to the number of white inhabitants in such states, which requisitions shall be binding, and thereupon the legislator of each state shall appoint the regimental officers, raise the men, and clothe, arm, and equip them in a soldier-like manner at the expense of the United States, and the officers and men so clothed, armed, and equipped shall march to the place appointed and within the time agreed on by the United States and Congress assembled. But if the United States and Congress assembled shall, on consideration of circumstances, judge proper that any state should not raise men, or should raise a smaller number than its quota, and that any other state should raise a greater number of men than the quota thereof, such extra number shall be raised, officed, clothed, armed, and equipped in the same manner as the quota of such state. Unless the legislator of such state shall judge that such extra number cannot be safely spared out in the same, in each case they shall raise, officer, clothe, arm, and equip as many of such extra number as they judge can be safely spared. And the officers and men so clothed, armed, and equipped shall march to the place appointed and within the time agreed on by the United States and Congress assembled.
Okay, so basically from what I got from that, long story short, is that's the establishment of the draft.
Yes.
According to the population in X amount of states and the amount of land that is within that state, however men that they can reserve that are within the military age and can be officed, equipped, and, clothed with military equipment. That's the establishment of, a little in-home militia. That's the establishment of our Army, Navy, and the Army and the Navy, pretty much. Because that's all we had at the point.
Yep.
At that point, we didn't really have a Coast Guard.
Nope.
Yeah. So it's just the Army and the Navy. That's the establishment of the Army and the Navy and the draft, pretty much. Wow.
Now we continue on. This is the last part of Article 9.
And then I think we might cut it for the episode because we are at 50 minutes, and maybe we could save.
I mean, this is it.
Oh, Article 10 is the last one?
No, Article 13 is the last one, but.
The rest of them are very short. It's just 9 that's freaking lengthy.
Yeah.
My goodness. Number 9 took up 4 pages by itself.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot.
I know.
Okay, well, I misspoke, y'all. Never mind. We're going to finish this out.
Yep. Anyway, the Congress of the United States shall have power to adjourn to any time within the year and to any place within the United States, so that no period of adjournment be for a longer duration than the space of 6 months, and shall publish the journal of the proceedings monthly, except such parts thereof relating to treaties, alliances, or military operations such as right. On military operation, as in their judgment requires secrecy, and the yeas and the nays of the delegates of each state on any question shall be entered on the journal.
Wait a minute. Is that the start of a little secret society right there? Is that what I just caught?
Requires secrecy, and the yeas and the nays of the delegates of each state on any question shall be entered on the journal, when it is desired by any delegates, and the delegates of a state or any of them at his or their request shall be furnished with a transcript of the said journal, except such parts as are above accepted, to lay before the legislatures of the several states. Woo-wee!
Okay, no, so it's just pretty much it's the establishment of the anonymity of the yays and the nays of what they vote on in Congress and what they don't vote on.
Exactly.
Okay.
Article 10.
So it wasn't the establishment of secret society within our government, like I thought.
No.
I heard secret, and I was like, ooh, every time I hear that word, that's usually where it leads to.
Yeah, but no.
Secret societies. Society usually comes afterwards.
No, sweetheart. It's secret, anonymous for people saying yay or nay.
Yes, the anonymity of the vote system within our congressionals.
Yep.
Within our congressional court.
Yep. Article 10. The committee of the state, or any 9 of them, shall be authorized to execute in the recess of Congress such of the powers of Congress as the United States and Congress assembled by the consent of 9 states shall from time to time think expedient to vest them with, provided that no power be delegated to the said committee, for the exercise of which by the Articles of Confederation the voice of 9 states in the Congress of the United States assembled is requisite. Is requisite.
Is requisite.
Is requisite.
Okay. I was kind of like mid-yawn, so like I kind of couldn't heard you.
The committee of... Well, you want to read that article?
Yeah, I'll reread that, just so that for my better understanding, and in case anybody else needs it reread a second time, it doesn't want to do the backup button. Article 10. The committee of the states, or any 9 of them, shall be authorized to execute in the recess of Congress such of the powers of Congress as the United States in Congress assembled by the consent of 9 states shall from time to time think expedient to vest them with, provided that no power be delegated to the said committee for the exercise by which, by the Articles of Confederation, the voice of 9 states in the Congress of the United States assembled is a requisite. Okay, so there has to be at least
9 states present.
9 states present every time that there is a congressional hearing or a meeting or an assembly, whatever it is. There has to be at least 9 representatives. 9. Out of the 13 at the time. Because, mind you, we are still the 13 United States, or the 13 colonies, whatever. Well, no, at this point, we do call ourselves the United States.
Yes, or the 13 states.
The 13 states, not the colonies. So, yeah, I mean, that's... So that would be, like, what, 3/4 almost? Because, yeah, 3/4.
3/4. Article 12. All bills of credit emitted, monies borrowed, or indebts contracted by or under the authority of Congress before the assembling of the United States in pursuance of the present Confederation shall be deemed and considered as a charge against the United States for payment and satisfaction whereof the said United States and the public faith are...
Whoa, hold up. You didn't read 11. You went straight to 12.
I did.
Hold up.
Oh, my bad. I went straight to 12. Went straight to 12 and over 11. Article 11, y'all. Canada acceding to this confederation and joining in the measures of the United States shall be admitted into and entitled to all the advantages of this union. But no other colony shall be admitted into the same unless such admissions be agreed by 9 states. Yeah, Canada used to be us. Go Canada!
Canada used to be part of the United... Wait, what?
Oh, yeah. In the Articles of Confederation, it was.
Well, I didn't know that. That's something they don't teach you in school.
No. Well...
Not even when we were going to school. They didn't teach us this.
Anyway.
I didn't know Canada used to be part of the United States. I'm like, I understand that it's part of the, North American continent, but part of the United States? The 13 United States at the time?
And the measures of the United States shall be admitted into and entitled to all the advantages of this union, but...
Emitted, meaning, added in. Omit is to leave out.
But no other colony shall be admitted into the same unless such admissions be agreed to by 9 states.
So Canada...
Be okay to come over here, but we can't...
Would be okay to be part of our nation if 9 states agreed upon it. If 3/4 of the states agree upon it.
Yeah, which clearly probably didn't happen. Anyway, Article 12. All bills of credit emitted, monies borrowed, and debts contracted by or under the authority of Congress before the assembling of the United States in pursuance of the present Confederation shall be deemed and considered as a charge against the United States, for payment and satisfaction whereof the said United States and the public faith are hereby solemnly pledged. And finally...
Wait, don't we want to do a little review on what that means?
Yeah, go ahead. What does it mean then, baby?
Well, you read it. You tell us.
That you have any money borrowed upon it and you can't pay it back, it's a charge against the United States. And for payment and satisfaction whereof the state United States and public faith are hereby solemnly pledged. It is admitted.
Bless you. God bless you. Bless you.
No, I got the sniffles.
Bless you.
Thank you.
All bills of credit emitted, monies borrowed, contracted under the authority of Congress before assembling in pursuance to the present
basically saying is that if you get any money or anything like that from Congress before they assembled, that's a charge. Because you didn't get no pledge from them.
It kind of seems like before the assembling of the United States in pursuance of the present Confederation. Oh, pretty much saying pay your dues, like for the creation of the Confederation almost. Like pay your dues.
I need a tissue.
I think we got a tissue box in here.
I don't see one.
Yeah, somewhere. There it is. Whoa!
Careful. Excuse me, y'all. Forgive me. Got a little bat in the back cave. What? You scared of little Kobe?
No.
Okay. Let's check him.
I already had the coof. I'm good.
I know that's right. Anyways. Can you pass that trash can over there real quick? Co-host? Going out of frame. And shot and shoots, he scores!
You mean he shoots, he scores?
That's what I said. He shoots, he scores.
I heard she.
No. Well, you heard sniffling.
Okay, let's get
Sniffles. Anyway. Article 13. Every state. Is it raining outside?
King! Stop the recording.
Oh, dog! King was rescued, y'all. Just so you know. He was rescued.
Yeah. We put the dog outside because he was a bad boys, and we did not realize that it had started raining because we got the new roof, and apparently you don't hear the rain on the roof unless it's raining really hard.
And it's not raining really hard. But anyways, we continue on.
I feel so bad. We're bad dog parents.
Well, he was a bad dog for getting into the trash now, wasn't he?
Daddy was. We came home from lunch and a day at the arcade. Yeah, we like the arcade because we're a couple of kids. And But we came home from the arcade, and there was trash everywhere. Like, pit bulls.
Okay.
What are you gonna do?
But anyways, every state shall abide by the determination of the United States in Congress assembled on all questions which by this Confederation are submitted to them. And the Articles of this Confederation shall be inviolably observed by every state, and the Union shall be perpetual, nor shall any alteration at any time hereafter be made in any of them, unless such alteration be agreed to in a Congress of the United States, and be afterwards confirmed by the legislatures of every state. And whereas it hath pleased the great governor of the world to incline the great governor of the world to incline the hearts of legislatures we respectively represent in Congress to approve of and to authorize us to ratify the said Articles of Confederation and Perpetual Union, know ye that we, the undersigned delegates, by virtue of the power and authority to us given for that purpose, do by these presents in the name and in the behalf of our representative, constitutes fully and entirely ratify and confirm each and every of the said Articles of Confederation and Perpetual Union, in all and singular the manners and things therein contained, and we do further solemnly plight and engage the faith of our respective constitutions, that they shall abide by the determinations of the United States in Congress assembled all questions which by the said Confederation are submitted to them, and that the articles thereof shall be inviolably observed by the states we respectively represent, and that the Union shall be perpetual, in witness whereof we have hereunto set our hands in Congress. Done at Philadelphia in the state of Pennsylvania, the 9th day of July, in the year of our Lord, 1778, and in the 3rd year of the independence of America. On the part of, and behalf of the state of Massachusetts Bay, John Hancock, Samuel Adams,
Elbridge
Gary, Francis Dana, James Lovell, Samuel Holton. On the part and behalf of the state of Pennsylvania, Robert Morris, Daniel Roberdeau, John Bayard Smith, William Clingan, Joseph Reed, 22nd July 1778. On part and behalf of the state of Virginia, Richard Henry Lee, John Bannister, Thomas Adams, John Harvey, Francis Lightfoot Lee. On the part and behalf of the state of Maryland, John Hanson, March 1st, 1781. Daniel Carroll. On the part... Carl. But it's Carroll. But on the part and behalf of the state of Delaware, Thomas McKean, February 22nd, 1779. John Dickinson, May 5th, 1779. Nicholas Van Dyke. On the part and behalf of the state of Connecticut, Roger Sherman, Samuel Huntington, Oliver Wolcott, Titus Hosmer, Andrew Adams. On the part and behalf of the state of Rhode Island and Providence Plantation, William Ellery, Henry Merchant, John Collins. And on the part and behalf of the state of South Carolina, Henry Lawrence, William Henry Drayton, John Matthews, Richard Hudson, Thos Hayward Jr. On the part and behalf of the state of New York, James Dunn, Francis Lewis.
Duane. That's James Duane.
James Duane, Francis Lewis, William Dewar, Governor Morris. That's one hell of a name, Governor. On the part and on behalf of the state of New Jersey, November 26, 1778. John Witherspoon, Nathaniel Scudder. On the part and behalf of the state of North Carolina.
Woo! North Carolina represent!
John Penn, July 21st, 1778. Cornelius Harnett. John Williamson. on the part and behalf of the state of
John Williams.
John Williams.
Where's the sun? Where's ON? It's not there. It's invisible.
Oh, yeah, it is invisible. On the part and behalf of the state of Georgia, John Walton, July 24, 1778, Edward Telfair, Edward Langworthy, and on the part and behalf of the state of New Hampshire, Josiah Bartlett. John Whitmore Jr. in August 8th, 1778.
Which is when Mr. Jr. there
Passed away.
No, that's when he signed it.
Oh.
So, that is it for the Articles of Confederation, y'all.
Thanks. Have a beautiful time. And remember to live life
with eyes wide open. And to stick around for the episode where we explain the reason behind our pirate flag and what it means to us.
Yes.
And remember to always leave a comment, like, subscribe, the typical thing with the channels and, the follows and the likes and
You're doing the Cosby again.
I know, I did on purpose.
Oh.
Anyway, y'all, have a good one. And remember, live life with eyes wide open. We'll see you on the next one.